Okay, students, so a very good evening to all of you. In this video, what I'm going to explain is that how we will ensure that at least we get 10 to 12 marks extra if we present well. So I'm giving you upper range that if you present well, you can get at least 10 to 12 marks extra. So for that, few things to be taken care of, first of all, in all the theory papers. Okay. So remember this, that whatever you have prepared, you should be writing that, no doubt about that. But if you present it well, you have a very big scope that you will score at least 10 to 12 marks extra in the paper. The aim should be to ensure that you make the work of the paper checker very simple and make it paper checker friendly. Okay. So let's start it section wise. Whenever we talk about economics paper, which is our next paper, that is tomorrow, the first thing is ensure that you write the section properly. Let's say it is section A. Write the section, underline it, and instead of using this space, okay, instead of using this space, write it here only. Answer number one. What is answer one? A. Let's say the answer is 21.7 years, for example. Answer number two. What is answer number two? Let's say your answer is B. The answer is Professor Marshall's. So write down that. Okay. Simple. So in all the theory papers, ensure that you don't use this left side margin which is given in your answer sheet and write it over here. Most importantly, write it like this in a very chronological order. So 1 to 10, you should plot it very appropriately. Okay. So section should be mentioned appropriately. And in MCQ, one thing which majority of the students fail to understand, number and then which option is correct and then which answer is correct. Both the things should be there. Don't miss out on that. Don't just write down like this. Many students write down like this. Answer number two. Answer is C. That's it, done. Don't do this. What is the correct alternative that you have selected, but also write what is the correct answer. Pick up that as well. Okay. So this is the basic idea about section A. Now let's come to section B. For section B, what you can keep in mind is, again, write it from here. Don't use the left margin. Answer number 11. Let's see, you are writing answer number 11. The definition is definition of birth rate. So you will write down the total number of births that take place in a particular year out of 1,000 births. Okay, so that is what you can consider. Then you can write down the formula if you know. Okay, the now what is important is when you define, ensure that you underline the important keywords. Underline the important keywords that is required to be done at least for 1 mark answers, because this will make the work of the paper checker easy. He will just check these keywords and give you 1 mark, one, or maybe it is 0.5 or whatever it is. But in order to ensure that you are not making his work difficult, underline the keywords. If you are writing a formula, then box that formula. Okay, similarly you can do that for the next answers. Whatever is the keyword for that answer, let's say question number 12, what is the definition of economic development, then you can write down economic development is national income, per capita income, standard of living, all the three things improve. So you can underline these keywords. Underlining the keyword will give you an extra edge. Okay, now let's come to the other section, which is your section C. From where section C, D and E, whatever I'm trying to say, follow that very strictly. Remember this. For section C, D and E, I'm giving you a combined advice. Section C, D and E. C means 2 marks, D means 3 marks, and E means 5 marks. Okay. So now, when we talk about section C, D, and E, first of all, what you should do is, instead of writing the question number or answer number here, write the answer here. Means, let's say we are writing section C. Okay, and then what you do is, let's say you write down answer number 21, underline this, and then start the answering part. Start the answering part point wise. Start the answering part point wise. If you find out that, if you are feeling that your handwriting is a little bit clumsy, and you are feeling that you may that is make it little bit, we can say, difficult for the paper checker to read, leave one line once you complete one point. That would give a better understanding to the person who is checking the paper. So section C, D, and E, instead of writing it in that manner that you are writing it over here, answer number 21, you have to write it in the center. Okay, that you need to follow very, very appropriately. Remember this, that whenever I'm saying that section C, D, and E, it has to be, the answer number should be mentioned in the middle of the page only. Let's say that you are writing section D. Now, section C is like 2 mark question, so you will write down 4 5 points. If it is a difference, draw appropriate lines. Okay, now when we come to section D, at that point, the problem is the answer will be little bit lengthy as compared to C, and that is C, right? So at that point of time, let's say you are answering question number, just for example, let's say answer number 35, or when you are answering answer number 35, write it at the center of the page, answer number. Okay, and what is the question all about? Let's say the question is about causes of poverty, so give the heading causes of poverty. This should be there. This is like the topic, and then you can start down point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, and explain. Okay, most importantly, headings should be appropriately written. Explanation, when you are writing the explanation, let me give you one idea. Let's say you are writing the heading causes of poverty. Let's say one of the cause is high population. Okay, where people don't understand the negative effect of population. Then instead of writing the explanation in paragraph, what you can do is write down in points. Write down in points. The more things you will write in points, it will be easy for the paper checker to check. So C, D, I have told you what you should do. Similarly, for section E, let's say we are writing section E. In section E, again, one thing to be taken care of. Listen very carefully. Again, let's say this is answer number 46. This is 46, center of the page. What is the question all about? Question is about, let's say, measures to control population. Write it at the center of the page. Write it at the center of the page and then start. Okay, then start. Remember this is section E, so there should be 3 parts in the answer: introduction, followed by the body of the answer, and then the conclusion. Don't miss the conclusion. Okay, and in section E you will get a graph. You will get a graph. In that graph question, section E, you will get a graph. In that graph question, ensure that you draw it appropriately, label it appropriately, and write the analysis part very, very clearly, as we have discussed in the class. Okay, so nothing major to be taken care of, but these things will give you that extra edge. Okay, now what I want to explain over here is also that when you are writing C, D, and E, once you complete the paper, if you have some remaining time left, okay, then for the target should be to ensure that you complete everything by 6:05, so that you have 10 minutes extra in your hand. In that 10 minutes, whatever are the important keywords in all the points, you underline that for C, D, and E, right? So underlining part for C, D, and E should be done only if you have extra time left. Don't do it in between. It may be possible that the paper is lengthy and you are not able to complete it. Just for that sake of underlining, you are missing some good questions which you already know. So don't do that mistake. Okay, underlining should be done in the last 10 minutes only. Presentation should be done with a very clear thought process from the first point you start writing. As I have told, don't use this left margin, keep it very much blank, because this is where the paper checker will check and give you the marks. So appropriately keep it open for them, you don't use it, okay? And no need to use any sort of other color pens. Use only two kind of things, one which is a blue pen and one which is a pencil. You can underline even with a pen, you can underline with a pencil, but don't write with a pencil, write with a pen, okay? Underline with a pencil, that is the most important thing. And as I have told you what is the order of preparation of the chapters, do that. There is no holiday for economics paper, but don't worry, there is no problem, revise it thoroughly. The target should be very simple, that when we talk about 11 chapters, just a second, I will come to a proper place where we can just give you that last hint, okay? So there are total 11 chapters. Your target should be today evening when you start, you should ensure that at least you complete 6 to 7 chapters. 6 to 7 chapters should be completed, and tomorrow's work, what you should do is remaining 5 to 4 chapters that are remaining, that should be completed tomorrow. See, remember this is not like other paper. In other papers you are getting a holiday, so maybe you have revised the content twice. Here it is not possible. So whatever you read it very very solid, okay? So that's it from my side. All the best for the economics paper, all the best for the preparation part, and follow the guidelines that I have told for the presentation part. That's it, take care, goodbye.